What's up, y'all? It's just Rhonda. Welcome to my channel. It's another Manic Monday, y'all. I'm gonna have to get another Monday song. Um, yeah, I'm gonna get another Monday song. I don't know why that one stays stuck in my head. I know there's so many different Monday songs, and I feel like if I sing a song for a day of the week, then it should match the mood. You know what I mean? It should definitely apply. So, does Manic Monday apply for this Monday? I'm not claiming that. I'm not claiming Manic Monday. Y'all like the video, subscribe to the channel if I didn't tell you that before. I'm on the road to 1,000 and I'm creeping up a little bit at a time. And you know what? I'll take that. Anyway, back to Monday. I'm not claiming Manic Monday. Um, I feel like, good morning, T. You here in the classroom on the first day of school and everything. I can't wait to hear, about the end of the day with the kids going back to school. Anyway, I feel like we have so many things. I obviously am scrolling the internet to find things, for us to talk about. And man, it's stressful. It's so stressful because I feel like Henny Penny running around here talking about the sky is falling, the sky is falling. We trying to get through a meal and hopefully we don't, have the explosive dookies. That's a horrible way to start, but I'm just saying, like we don't know what the flock of flockas is doing out there. We just trying to drive from home to work, and we got some weird ass nigga that might just work for the police department following you, your tags for no good reason. Anyway, I just want to make an effort when I get up every morning to just start living in the moment. I don't want to be worried about, explosive poops. I don't want to be worried about weird ass police that's, monitoring the daggum license tags. Um, I don't want to live a life in worry. So yeah, we got to be cautious. We got to talk about these things for sure, but let's make an effort to enjoy the good parts, the good parts of your day. And then we'll do the thing again tomorrow and see what happens after that. Anyway, y'all, PSA. Your boss is not your friend. A company is not your family. Always keep boundaries and prioritize your own goals and needs. If I didn't, this ain't a word, child. If this ain't a word. Because based on what I've been going down to my job, honey, is some things needs to be discussed. I don't know why bosses do that. I don't know why bosses try to act like they give a shit. Am I cussing too early? Let me back up a little bit. I don't know why bosses try to convince you like they care about what's going on in your life. And um business is business, but I feel like there should be some type of integrity in business. That's how longevity happens. If you only focused on the capital, then it ain't gonna last long. And I think people are important, and that's the biggest thing that we're losing in this country and around the world. We focusing on our country because this is where we live, but this behavior, like, when you think about where we going, in case we have to get the fuck out of here. Oops, I did it again. Where we going? In case we have to break wide, get out of here. You know what I'm saying? Um, it be mess over there too, child. You just have to, like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't have that answer. But over here, um, the capital definitely outweighs the people, and I guess that's fine in a corporation, but I feel like corporations have divisions and exceptions need to be made for the people. Things can be worked out, schedules can be worked around, and how people are treated, well, that's a whole nother situation altogether. um because of the racism that's festering this country that we live in. So we got to go to work. We got to code switch. We got to make sure our hair don't make nobody uncomfortable, even in a hair salon, child. And I'm going to get to that. I'm speaking from a black woman's perspective because these niggas ain't shit. I did it again. Ninjas ain't shit. Poop. Whatever. I guess I'm just gonna have to be uncensored today. It's Monday. Let's get this thing going on. I'm not monetized at the moment, so I guess I better take advantage of saying it like I mean it. Before I have to, code switch, even over here. Good morning, Lotus Egyptian flower. What we talking about this morning? We're talking about how your boss, your workplace, that's not your, it's not your safe space. So, like, don't let them convince you that that's what it is. They like to come in here and they'll sit at these meetings and they're like, we spend most of our time here than we do. We spend more time here than we do, with our own family. So, we're, in a sense, we're family over here. No, we're not family. Good morning, High Vibe. We're not family. The fact that you could say I'm spending more time over here than I am with my family is a problem. But, we could talk about that. Over the big C, we figured out, you know what? I can actually like do this job from my house. And it makes better sense. Then I can be around the people that I want to be around and not around the people that are over here pretending to be my damn family because you're not. You don't care nothing about me. All you care about is the bottom line. So I guess, child, take that to hell with you because, the bottom line, eventually, they'll just start eating each other. Boundaries. People be trying to be all up in your business, trying to know, like, what you're doing when you're at home, what time, you leave the house in the morning, what's going on with your husband, what's going on with your kids. Back up. We don't have those kinds of conversations with everybody. Those kinds of conversations are made to be had with the people at your work that you have created some kind of bond with, but don't please mistake that bond for them being family. Because when the shit goes down, you can't always count on those people to really have your back for real, for real. So when you walk into the workplace, unless you in there with your real family, nobody has your back, and decisions have to be made based on how much do I really want to be in this Mickey Flicky? Because, child, my blood pressure rising. Anyway, you need to prioritize your own goals and your own needs. So just like they, focused on the bottom line, please do that for your own self. Good morning, Miss Best Reviews. Team building is a scam. It is, child. So I'm gonna go ahead and give you a little story time. I'm feeling like, the closer I get to 100, what do Jada with the TV saying half 100? I'm past half 100. So, I feel like I got stories. So, maybe I'll start doing some story times for my members, for my people who be over here, where I feel comfortable. Good morning to go to Africa. Um, Okay, so your boss is not your friend. Your company ain't your family. Your boundaries need to be, step back a little bit. You in my personal space, and your goals need to be the things, not what they wrote on the paper to tell you to make that. Your goals are not their goals. Your goals are your goals. So if you go into a place and you like, need to do what you got to do to get to where you go and focus on that. Whatever they said on that paper, okay, you know, you can play the game because that's what it is. So, personal story. For those who don't know, I'm a hairstylist, 30 years plus. And you would think in an environment that is based around hair, it would be a safe space. It is not, especially, in the environment I work in. You got to cater to your demographics. My demographics are primarily Hispanic, which is not a bad thing because, as far as hair is concerned, they have the same issues as we do. You know what I'm saying? We live in a we live in a humid environment. So, as far as hair is concerned, like I said, they're dealing with the same things that we're dealing with. When you go into a high-end salon, um, chances are you're not going to find any products that are going to suit your hair texture. The products that they create are to, caters to European hair. Even if it's curly, it's only going to go so far as the curly wavy situation. When you talk about 3C, 4C situations, there will be nothing. So I'm the only black stylist in my salon. And that's fine with me because I really enjoy doing, black hair. And I'm going to say black because I love that. Now, the microaggressions within this environment is, you know, a non-melanated manager, because you need a non-melanated manager to make sure that the non-melanated people that come into the establishment are comfortable. They're the priority. Whatever they want, we must give it to them. So even if the name on the door is a Hispanic name, Latina name, then the expectation is that the Latino business should acquiesce to the non-melanated. So if English is not your first language, be silent. Don't talk. We don't want to hear all that. These are actual words that I've heard in a meeting. I don't speak Spanish, so this ain't my fight necessarily. However, if it's them, then it's me. That's how I look at it. If it's them, then it's me. I don't speak Spanish. I could give a care. Like, I think it's fine for people to be able to speak in their native language. Actually, I think it's exposing me to more culture. You know what I'm saying? So it's not a problem for me. It's only usually a problem for the non-melanated client that wants to come in a salon with a Latina name on the door and expect for the people that speak Spanish to don't do that while I'm here. I don't want to hear all that. And the ownership, who is no longer Spanish, but people of, other race, other box, we're going to acquiesce to that. We want to make sure that the non-melanated people in this very highly Hispanic environment is most comfortable. So for me, that's a problem. But, like I said, it's not my fight. You need to speak up for yourself. I speak up, but, that's your fight. And, it is what it is. I'm not going to make it my thing, because you know why? When I go into my job, I got to prioritize my own goals and needs. And if you don't care, then I'm sorry. I guess it'll be fine until, it falls over into an area where, I'm now being affected. And that's not to say I didn't speak up, because I did, but I'm not going to make it my fight. That's all I'm saying. So, so I go in this week, and the non-melanated manager pulls me to the side to explain that they've changed the menu a little bit, because they want to make sure that the right client is getting with the right stylist. Meaning, good morning, Lotus Egyptian Flower. Did I just not? Am I missing something, girl? You know what? I thought you was charge it to my brain. I looked at Miss Best and I thought it was Lotus Egyptian Flower. Anyway, good morning, everyone. I stays distracted. Yeah, so I walk in, the non-melanated manager wants to pull me to the side to discuss to me how they're going to figure out a way on the menu to make sure that the Black clients get with the right stylist, since nobody wants to do it. Nobody wants to do it. I won't say nobody, but probably nobody, because they had to make a whole situation out of this. Clearly, there's not a whole lot of people qualified. And when I say not qualified, I mean they don't want to do it. And there was a story earlier where the lady went to Ulta, I think it was, and they didn't have nobody to do her hair right. Is it because they get to say they don't want to do it? And that's fine. I don't care what you want to do, because I'm going to treat my clients the way they're supposed to be treated. So bring them over here in my chair. That way they'll get the same luxury experience as all the other clients that come in here. So she, the manager, has a hard time saying the word Black. And it pisses me off, because every time she says it, girl. And I said, close that door. We were in the back room. And I said, let me tell you something. I love being Black. It's the best thing about me. I'm very proud to be Black. So why is it that you have such a hard time saying it? Her explanation was, she didn't grow up around Black people. So, even though now she believes that everybody should be treated equally, lie. And I said, this is the thing though, like, you've never heard that from me, because I love being Black. And so I'm trying to understand how you don't understand that the way you say it makes it seems like it's something bad, when it's not something bad, it's something good. So from now on, when you speak to me about clients and what color they are, say black, say it loud, because I'm black and I'm proud. That's, the conversation that we have. And I'm like, so they changed the description, when you're booking your appointment. And I feel like this is something that's important for us too, because when we're looking to be taken care of in a place, like even if it's Ulta, like wherever it's convenient and affordable for you to get your hair done, your experience should be the same. So if this heifer over here don't like doing black hair and doesn't, feel comfortable, please make sure there's something on the menus that cues these people to let them know that I'm going to be, placed with the right person and I'm going to get the best experience. So they decided to put coily textured hair. Perfect. You know what I'm saying? This doesn't have nothing to do with my ethnicity. This is just letting the people know. And I was like, you got this chart. You might want to take it a step further and put 3C, 4C, because people with that hair texture, they know what it is. We're on the right track. How much is it? Now, this is where the things gets discriminatory as far as I'm concerned. How much is it? It is $40 more than it would be for your non-melanated counterpart. And I'm trying to understand, and I will at some point today, because it will be addressed. I'm just saying, had to get this off my chest, and y'all are my people. So, thank you for listening. Why is it $40 more? Why are we taxing people because of their hair texture? Because this is what happens when you come in for a blow dry, it's one price. And if you need me to use a flat iron or curling iron or what have you, heating tool, then it's an additional $15. I think most of us understand that. But the thing is, it's the same. It's the same price for both melanated and non-melanated clients. And so I'm going to need to get an understanding as to why it's $40 more. It's like a black tax. Y'all charging me $40 more. It's not more work. I spend the same hour doing my black clients as I do the ones that are not black. It's the same hour for a haircut. I might need like maybe 15 more minutes, but is that really the $40 that they, come up with? I'm dying to find out what that's all about, how they come up with these pricing. And this is where I have to say something, because I'm prioritizing my own goals. At the end of the day, like if this is where, if I say nothing, then what happens? My clients just come in and have to pay an extra $40 for nothing. I benefit. I could be that. It would, be in my pockets. You know what I'm saying? But why? So, yeah. Your boss is not your friend. Your company is not your family. Always keep your boundaries and prioritize your own goals and needs. And that's the last of that. I'm going to get off my soapbox. But yeah, thank you for listening. Let's get into the things, that we get into over here. Some Black history, some Black excellence, current events, a little bit of gossip, and some, celebrity mess. What we got going on over here? A 25-year-old makes history and becomes the youngest Black female pilot for commercial airlines. At just 25 years old, Myra is making her mark in an aviation industry as Black female commercial airline pilot. Her journey represents a major milestone in industry where Black women remain significantly under underrepresented represented underrepresented in the cockpit. Today, Black women make up only a small fraction of airline pilots, making stories like Myra especially meaningful for the next generation. She's proving that the cockpit isn't limited by gender, race, or background. It's open to anyone willing to put into work to reach it. Her story is more than a career achievement. It's a representation at 30,000 feet. I have never seen a Black pilot while traveling on a commercial airline. Um, just women in general. It's not something. Have y'all ever seen one? Because I have not. Black pilot is already rare. I feel like, during the course of my travel, I may run across a couple few, black pilots. I can't remember, maybe once. I can't really remember having a woman pilot at all, really. It's always just some man, mostly white, maybe, sprinkle in a couple few black. But the women, so I think this is really great. 25 years old. That means this young lady knew exactly what she was interested in. Do we do that? Like, do we buy our little girls airplanes and boats and things? I have a client who is young girl, under 30, stunning, absolutely beautiful girl. Um, and she's a boat mechanic. And so, yeah, I was so impressed with that because I was like, I know, when you show up, they don't know how to act. And yeah, of course they don't. But I was like, boat mechanic. And then, she down in Miami at one point. I think she's here now. But I mean, who owns boats but wealthy people? So, what a great way to, to navigate your way into a income bracket of people that can make your dreams come true, child. Same thing with the pilot. I think this is awesome. And yeah, maybe we should start spending some money like on let the kids pick their own toys. We automatically go buy them dolls. Right now, I'm buying toys for my grandkids that are, blocks and learning tools and things like that. Like I haven't, he's got plenty of cars and things, but she's got pink ones too. She's not old enough yet to play with the cars, but I feel like, who knows if she wants to be, a car mechanic or a airline pilot. You don't see that very often. And so, heck yeah, I would be so gassed if I got on a plane and my pilot was a black woman. Um, Good morning, Kiwan. You said you've only seen one black female pilot. When I flew one time, I saw a handsome young black man. I felt like I was in good hands. That's what I'm saying. Like, I would be so gassed if I got on and she was my pilot because I would feel like, oh, yeah, she got this. You know why? Because she had to try 1,000 times harder than everybody else. You said that's great news. It's a crime that it took this long for her to be the first. Well, she's the first at 25. So there's more black pilots, but she's, I guess, the youngest. But I feel like, we see you know young other people with the job. 25, that's young. I love that. She might have went to the military. I would have to get a little more of her story. um How about this? How would you feel about this? Black women make history after serving as pilot and co pilot on the same flight. Two black women are receiving praise after making history together by taking the controls as a pilot and co pilot on the same flight. Now, child, talk about being gassed. The powerful moment has people celebrating their achievement and recognizing how meaningful it is to see black women represented in the industry where they have historically been underrepresented. Their accomplishment has inspired conversations about representation, perseverance, and the importance of seeing people who look like you reach positions that once seemed out of reach. And these two gave somebody watching a reason to dream bigger. That's true. Like, little girls, I had to highlight this first comment. Little girls like getting on the plane and they fly too. You know what I'm saying? That is something to inspire to be. I love that. Not one, but two. That's crazy that just shows you how few women they are that that's their first time flying together. Um, this clown, I just had to, look at this first comment. Well, I look at the comments, but this first one is the only one that sounds stupid. So instead of seeing what we see, because we look and see two beautiful black women about to take control of this, aircraft. I know if y'all have ever watched Below Deck, um, after I seen Captain Sandy navigating those cruise ships, those yachts. I didn't even really care about the other below decks anymore. I was like, I just want to see Captain Sandy do it because, she does it with such grace. Even the way she handles, her staff when she's pissed off. She's never disrespectful to people. So, yeah. We see these two women about to navigate, us across the friendly skies, and this clown says, "Anyone making IG content before they fly a plane, I'm on. Let me off." This is a black man hating over here because he could never. How did he look at him? That's the first thing that he thought. And I'm like, if they hadn't done it, then we wouldn't even know about it, you nincompoop. So I'm so glad that they took a moment. You know what I'm saying? She got her little fan together. That means she might be a little Perry. Make sure she's comfortable, y'all. Anyway, I love to see this. Man, I want my next flight to have a black female pilot. Made me feel a little more safe because we had the one dude jump out the thing. Remember, we had that one white man that jumped out the plane and told the co-pilot, "Here, you handle it," or it was like a student or something. Anyway, um, so thousands of black pilots, aviation professionals, students, and future industry leaders gather at Chicago's McCormick, celebrating 50 years of breaking barriers and creating opportunities in aviation. I love to see this. It's just, thousands of black people over here exposing their children to an industry that, we basically are not, aside from flight attendants. And I feel like even when I see black flight attendants, you can see the babies. They don't tell us about this stuff. They don't tell us about, how great we are. They want to play in our face. Maybe, post some art that's triggering so our kids can walk through the schools and, remember we were slaves. I'm just saying. Because that's what they're doing out here in these schools, in these institutions. They're not uplifting us. We want to see photos of the pilots. Can we get these pictures of these ladies over here? Hey, Shayna. Can we get a picture of these ladies, female pilots, hanging up in the school so the girls and the boys can look at it and see, hey, that wasn't in 1901. That was like now. This is currently happening. When I go to my classroom, I can sit here and aspire to be, a pilot one day. And then maybe they will think differently, about how they approach studying, because right now they're not even reading. And teachers are being penalized for pushing students, for not passing students who can't read. So, they want us to stay stupid. Make sure your kids, make sure they get this information, even if it's, on their Instagram, whatever kind of way you can share it with them, we need to share it with them. And maybe we'll get to that. We'll get to that. Let's talk about these schools and how they're trying to make the system dumber for the kids.
What are we doing here? Why are we lowering the bar? Like, I don't understand it. We're not giving these kids a fighting chance. You trying to tell me a 44? I would have been honor roll from kindergarten to summa cum laude. I would have been an engineer with this rating. Yo, I don't care what this new school era is saying to your children. You have to teach your children excellence. Teach your children excellence. I get that we have learning curves. I get that some kids learn slower than others. But when you are giving them an out, this is an out. We're giving them an out. We are giving them, don't worry about it. It's going to be okay. Everything is not going to be okay. You got to be a parent. Just because this is what their standards are doesn't mean it has to be the standard in your household. This right here is not going to fly. This is not going to fly. My mother and my aunt, they would have never went for this. Our era would have never went for this. Parents, still be parents. Make your children go up and beyond. This right here is just right below the bar. This is below the bar. But hell, I could be crazy. I could be crazy. Tell me what you think. What are we doing?
he said something that stood out to me. He said, we can't allow our children to live by their standards. They need to be, learning our standards. And that's exactly why I took the stance I did about the bonnets at Tuskegee. To me, the whole idea of respectability politics doesn't apply in that particular situation. I hate to keep going back to it, but this is why, because we're lowering the standard, and that's not our standard. They're intentionally putting you in a place so you can not have to try as hard, so you'll be less smart. That makes no sense. Did y'all look at that scale? An A used to be a 90 to 100. Now it's an 84 to 100. A B, a 64. So if you get a 64, that went from a D to a B. That's extreme. That's extreme. And then 90 is not that hard to achieve. 90 is not that hard to achieve unless you have some type of learning disability and you need a little more help. But I feel like 100 is hard, to always consecutively, be getting A's on everything. But a good part of that is turning in your homework, doing the work that you could ask your teacher for help. Maybe, I don't know anymore. Are you allowed to do that? You said, I think they significantly lowered the academic standards after COVID because many students were underperforming. Listen, my daughter was already in virtual school before COVID. So for me in my household, there was no change. You know what I'm saying? It was for all the parents whose kids were now required to be homeschooled or virtual schooled, and they, didn't know what to do. They was trying to do a half in the classroom, half out. Nothing changed in my house because we were already there. And because she's virtual schooled, I have access not just to what she told me the teacher said, or not just the paper that she's bringing home. Now I have to figure out, I have the same access to her education as she has, so we can have conversations about things. As a parent, you can't be checked out. You can't be checked out. And, clearly you can't be checked out, because why does your kid not know how to read? And that's a whole different situation. But you can say it's in poorer communities, but it can't just be in poorer communities based on the numbers. Um, the standard should not be lowered. The education was still there. COVID, happened, but that was a blip in their, in their school year. They're there for 12 years. And a lot of these kids, honestly, like, they were babies. So now they're entering into this, school system. If the COVID babies were are now, like, at the very beginning of their school. Um what, from kindergarten probably to like second grade, third grade. That's still very young. You said, if I had that grading skill growing up, I would not have worried about passing the spelling test on Thursday to avoid retaking on Friday. This is the thing. They don't even do spelling tests, really. Like, I feel like there's a lot of things, like when my daughter started, that were over. You know what I'm saying? By the time I had one daughter to start and then the other one, spelling tests, times tables. They don't learn their times tables. They look at a grid. And I was like, you never, like, are going to know your times tables if you have to always use this thing. So I had to implement timetables, to myself, spelling tests myself. You know what I'm saying? Um, I remember being in the car with my mother on the way to school going over them spelling words, child. That was pressure. That retake was a lifesaver. But at the end of the day, if you have to retake the test, it's more about you learning how to read, learning how to spell. You said, unfortunately, many of the students did not do what they were required to do, and many of their parents did not have the time and the ability to help them. Well, to go to Africa, this is the thing. Um, just because I mean, I homeschooled two of my children, two out of three. And it is a scheduling issue. I think when your kid is supposed to do what they're supposed to be doing, you know what I'm saying? My daughter had a schedule, and I made her get up and put her clothes on. I did not let her like lay around like in pajamas. They had to get up, put their clothes on, and sit at the desk, with the laptop to do the schoolwork. Now, as she got in her later 11th, 12th grade year, she did kind of slack a lot of that discipline, which I would be pissed off about. But at the end of the day, because it's online, you can come home from work and check and see what things are being done. You can get emails from the teacher that says so and so didn't, wasn't in class. Like, I was always in contact. So if she wasn't in her class, I was getting an email or a text saying, "Where's Caitlin?" So there are ways to make sure, like, you could put it on the teachers, but at the end of the day, it's always going to fall on the parent to make sure that things are getting done. Going to, like, I showed up at the school one time. Me and the teacher had a conversation because my son, who is exceptionally smart, by the way, um, but he decided he was going to hang out in the courtyard and be doing Pokemon. And so she called me and we had a conversation. And I was like, "I'm going to come up there. So, but don't tell him." And when his class let out, his friends saw me standing there. They were like, "Oh, wow. Hey, who? Tony, he's in trouble." Yeah, as parents, we got to stay involved. You cannot rely, and the way this education system is working, you're going to almost have to go in and counteract the lies that they're being told, that how the slaves were just so happy go lucky to come to America and do the work. Come on. You said, okay. That's a conversation between the two of you. Anyway, I'm sad that the bar is being lowered, and we can't allow that to be a thing within our own community. We got to take care of our own, so we can get some pilots and things over here in case we need to kill out of here. We just need to figure out where we're going. It's not just in elementary school, it's on a college level also.
Is getting rid of some final grades for the sake of students' mental health. The university announcing it's dropping first semester grades in an effort to, quote, curb the mental health crisis faced by many young college students. This is a pilot program. It's set to roll out in fall 2027. It applies to students enrolled in the College of Literature, Science, and the Arts. So that's about half of Michigan's roughly 8,000 first-year students. Now, class results will be displayed as either pass or no credit on transcripts, and students will still receive grades in the class as the semester unfolds, but final grades will not be recorded. And Michigan is one of the largest universities in the United States. It has over 35,000 undergraduates, and the school says the program will allow a smooth on-ramp as freshmen accelerate from high school into a more rigorous college curriculum, and it'll give students a chance to refine their academic skills and build early momentum. So the University of Michigan is getting rid.
What? Give me a break. University of Michigan is a PWI. What's wrong? Billy Bob and them ain't meeting the standards. Now, what is the hell do they mean by mental health crisis? University of Michigan is giving some college freshmen breathing room amid a growing mental health crisis. Maybe they should take that break. If you're feeling like you're not ready to go to school, just take that break. Go down to Walmart, standing behind the cashier's, aisle. Get your mind together before you go off to school. Get down over there and, push around those blue carts in the store. Pick up those call-in orders before you go off to college. Get your mind right. Starting in 2027, the institution will launch a grade covering pilot program for incoming first year students in its college literature, science and arts. Okay. So we gonna let the science people, y'all want the science people to be not smart too? During their first semester, students will receive a pass or no credit grade instead of an A through F letter grade. It don't matter because when they left high school, the A is the F anyway. So now they changed the chart. Now they just giving you a pass. A real person that, is concerned about their own academia. I want to see my grades so I can know how much more work I need to do. Just past, I need more information. I don't know, High Vibe, what the mental health crisis is, but this is University of Michigan. This is not Michigan State. So Mo, this is something they dealing with it. Maybe their mamas was on Prozac when they was in the womb and they getting the credit for that. Um, these kids are coddled. For sure. Exactly. Mental health break your ass back home. I bet they don't miss that party. Exactly. They down to the party, taking Adderall for classes that they ain't even studying for. I was saddened to see that many of the younger parents did not get an education that enabled to help their children. It's true. But we got to stop it somewhere. I don't think lowering the bar is going to make it better. I knew you was going to pop in here. It's University of Michigan. That's for white kids. I said that, ma'am. Yeah, they don't want us at their universities. So you said unless they're athletes, well, let's don't send them over there, child, because they're making it very easy, especially for athletes. I'm sure athletes he's good at scoring, pass. That's why we have to hold our own kids to our own standards and stop acting like it's okay to like go to school with a bonnet on, because that's respectability politics. Child, stop. The university said the program is intended to support students' mental health and foster an environment where college students can acclimate to the demands of University of Michigan education. Child, I acclimated. My mother dropped me off, and I went in my dorm and we said hi, and she left, and then we figured it out the next day. Michigan is not the first school to use the grade covering policy. The California Institute of Technology, Massachusetts Institute of Technology, Swarthmore College, and Wesley College already have similar policies for first year students. Write them names down. Some of them colleges I've never even heard of. So write those names down. Make sure you don't send your kids over there, because they over here, making sure the kids like, are they gonna get naps in the afternoon? Maybe around 1:30, 2 o'clock. We should let the freshmen go take a nap so they can be mentally healthy for their second half afternoon classes. Good grief. So this lady ain't playing down in Miami City, Carroll High School.
Put it in the bag. Go back over there. You can't touch my carpet. That's for your foot. That has nothing to do with your shirt. You need a uniform shirt. Over here. You need a uniform shirt. Take those headphones off your head. Good morning. Welcome. Over here. No interruption of my school. No interruptions. It's not going to be a good day. He doesn't have on a uniform shirt. He leaving? He going home? Bye-bye? Adios? You go adios? Lopez, I don't know what he's trying to tell me. He has a note for his slide, but it has nothing to do with his uniform shirt. How you doing? Welcome to Miami Carroll City Senior High School, home of the Chief. How you doing? Good. It's your first day? Hi, yes. Hi, Tatiana. You're gonna have a great day. Okay, go inside. They're gonna direct you to the registration. You have a wonderful day. Okay. Can't start school without it today. No. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. You didn't take that off yet, so you're not going to enter. Or I'm just going to escort you to the auditorium where you remain for the remainder of the day. That has to come off. It is a hoodie. No hoodies. How you doing? How you doing, Cam? Put it in your bag. Put it in the bag. Go back over there. You can't touch my carpet.
So let me just get to the comments for a minute. I bet you what, these kids ain't gonna show up to school wearing no damn bonnet. They already learning. This look like ninth grade, maybe. Yeah, this is high school. Funky Dineva said, "This is my former dance and drama teacher. I attribute much of who I am to this woman. Hopefully, it's the good things, child. I don't know who you attribute the rest of it. That's funky." This comment right here. I don't agree with the delivery. Don't embarrass kids trying to get an education. Can someone else please present to? Can someone else be present to talk to the kids who aren't dressed appropriately to guide them away? Um, okay, fine, make a point, but not all the not at the expense of the kids literally trying to start their first day. No, not like that. I didn't see nothing wrong with the way this lady was talking. I feel like that's I mean, how all of them. She did not. What was disrespectful? How was she embarrassing the kids? They already knew better to come to school. And this is probably the first day of school because I heard her say something about, registering in the office or something. So those students are not as smart per their school records. Oh, you talking about University of Michigan. Well, let me back up. There's a lot of stuff going on. You said they're elite private colleges. Yeah. Well, that's why their kids, what's their names? Shep and Jeff. That's why they're getting special treatment over there. You said I was working a job between college classes. I don't know. Girl, I was yeah, well, when I was in college, I did have my son my senior year. But yeah, so I was a single mom going to school, working. Child, please. They need to cut it out. They need to. They're too stressed out to go to school. What? Anyway, let's see. You said translation. We see our students are up to par academic are not. Yeah. So, in order to maintain the illusion of superiority, the university will ensure the students' GPA remain competitive. And the ignorance will prevail. That's how we got in this situation we in now. The cuddle generation is getting on my nerves. I hope you're talking about this principal. I was like, she was acting all principally to me. She was saying good morning and hi, and them kids that had their uniform on, like they walked on into school. Good morning, have a great day. That's what I heard her saying. Yeah, no, you have a note for your slippers, but not your jacket, hoodie, whatever. All of that is in the school, and the kids wear uniforms. So, and the more uniforms is at Target, Walmart, everywhere. You know what I'm saying? And that's to make it easier on you. Most of the times they can just wear, jeans and the uniform, the school color or whatever. When my daughter had to wear a uniform, it was like, thank God, because it just makes life easier, even for them finding what they're going to wear to school. She reminds me of my black principal that I've seen throughout my life. I hope the majority of them are like her. Yes, it's important to. You're supposed to feel like you don't want the principal to see you looking like that. The kids will be like, she doing too much. Listen, I've had to remove kids from my classroom. These not even little children, grown people, from my classroom for not wearing their uniform. This is a comment says Joe Clark. Heck yeah. Joe Clark made good change. Um, yeah, I don't know what this lady is talking about, don't embarrass the kids. I didn't see her doing anything embarrassing, but it starts here. I think it's important that they see the principal and they know her, that she probably speaks to the kids. Look how nice she looks. Love to see it. Y'all can, miss me with the bonnets and the naps needed between classes. And if these are okay standards for you, then okay, then if the 84, you could still go by the same. If you don't bring it in a 90, then your hours is gonna be less on your phone or on your game. Like, it's not like they don't have to get beat for not getting grades. I don't agree with that, but you can spend a little more time. You know what I'm saying? With the things you enjoy, with your happy things. Otherwise, like if you ain't gonna do the work, you know what's supposed to be the uniform. Look at the kids that don't have their uniform on. They walking around with their head down. They already knew what it was. So y'all had all summer to prepare for school to start. Get it together, people. Joe Clark had a bat. Y'all think they can bring bats to school no more? Child. Anyway, this is sad to me, and I feel like I'm not buying it. Sounds like a little bit of bullshit to me, but it's just a reminder that we need to make sure our things are actually tangible and not just somewhere in a cloud. I ain't never been a cloud person anyway because it don't sound right to me. It's in the cloud. Okay. A PBS station is reportedly fighting to recover more than 50 TB of programming and archives spanning 70 years of television history. That's crazy. The problem, the station says its files became trapped after its cloud storage provider apparently went out of business. There has to be some files somewhere else. I bet that. I bet you that. That means decades of documentaries, broadcasts, recordings, and cultural history could suddenly become inaccessible. Not because the files were deleted, but because the infrastructure holding them disappeared. They are somewhere. I don't believe they not in the cloud no more because these people are no longer there. This sounds like some bull pucky. It's a powerful reminder of the hidden risk of putting important records entirely in the cloud. Ain't none of my records in the cloud. I reject the cloud every day. My phone be like, in your cloud storage, I'm good. I just store the things somewhere other than in the cloud. But be like my mama with a box full of photos. The cloud storage feels permanent. It isn't. It doesn't feel permanent. It feels like you just threw it out there for anybody to have. And somebody got it, so y'all can cut it out. If the company managing your data shuts down, changes its policies, loses access, or stops supporting its platform, getting your files back may become surprisingly difficult. I feel like, you need a backup plan for your backup plan. For organizations holding decades of irreplaceable material, having offline backups and independent copies may be just as important as having convenient cloud access. Who really owns your data when someone else controls the servers? Not you, child. It just makes common sense. I just don't believe it. I don't believe it. I feel like they have it somewhere and, it just may be in hands that don't want us to know our history or see any of those documentaries. You said, unfortunately, some kids are bringing weapons these days and are more powerful than the bat. That's true. That's why you need the principals checking you at the door. Reading Rainbow Vanish while they intentionally erase the best education program. I don't believe it. I don't either, Lotus Egyptian Flower. It sounds like some BS. And it says one station. I believe that's how they put it. Even the wording it says PBS station. No, I guess it just means all together. I don't believe it. I feel like this is some bull. I hope we get to the bottom of it. They're using words like may have, so they may better find it. That's all I have to say. Somebody need to. Hopefully, somebody was down there, hard driving some of that stuff. I'm about to hard drive everything. Ciao. Come about to get me. The education system got us in a chokehold, y'all. AI at it again. We gonna stay on education.
Seen this U.S. map before, where Kentucky is Kentucky, Indiana is Inolano, and Tennessee is Tunisio, and the list goes on. Well, this was in the agenda given to students at a JCPS middle school.
Mom, did you know that we live in Vanecki? And I said, what are you talking about?
That question sent Morris flipping through her middle schooler at Farnsley's brand new agenda, unveiling all sorts of bizarre errors.
The periodic table is just jarbled words. We have new planets called Mark.
In this U.S. map, Louisiana is Lucong, Alabama is Alatome, Illinois is Vitoise, and South Carolina is South Quanto.
It's crazy.
And look at these phases of the moon. Some are not legible. What should be waning crescent says waning crescane. And the periodic table, where the names under the elements are gibberish.
We have to pay a $10 instructional fee every year in order to get this agenda. So you're making us pay for something that you used AI for.
Well, I bet you've never seen this U.S. map before, where Kentucky is convex.
Well, good thing they changed the grading scale so the kids, won't be too affected by this mishap. How did, who was in charge of uploading it? Maybe it's in the cloud, for God's sakes. Did they get the information from the cloud? Because it just, I think, are these like some top secret, like codes and languages that are meant for not our eyes and somebody accidentally, uploaded the wrong files? I don't know. This is not right. So can they please fix this? And everybody make a copy of these just in case we need it later on. Everybody make a copy of these newfangled files. This is deliberate miseducating. It's something. And so it's definitely a waste of money. So all the taxpayers, and when I say taxpayers, I mean us, paying money to send our kids to these schools where AI is creating, brand new education. That means, we don't know what it means. We don't know if it means nothing, or we don't know if it means something that we're not supposed to know. They want zombies. That's what they want. But zombies eat each other, and eat people. That's why, like I said earlier, we got to grab every part of our day that makes some sense, because none of this makes sense. Despite Mom Stacey Morris emailing the school, she never got a response. It wasn't until WDRB reached out to the school administrators, told teachers to have the students rip out the pages of the errors, and emailed parents about the inaccurate information. It's almost like AI had no business being used in schools, you think? Ooh, the biggest concern is that absolutely no one looked at it before handing it out. I guess it's in the book, child. They got to do a whole reprint. It seems like AI is costing a lot of money, more money than, they still in the water. They blaming it on AI. AI ain't even working, and the robots is like kicking the people in the balls. You blame Mitch McConnell for doing all this, then playing like it's not here. Mitch McConnell. I don't know who to blame, child. Blame it on the alcohol. Nope, can't do that. The people ain't drinking alcohol no more. That's got a whole nother situation, a whole nother conversation. Have y'all seen this guy?
Darling made after being permanently banned by Walmart, no one realizes he is the biggest winner of this incident. After Damon was banned by Walmart, his career was not affected at all. Instead, he gained some unexpected benefits. First, Damon used to pay out of his own pocket to cover strangers' bills. Now, many businesses are willing to pay to invite him to shoot in their stores. Businesses can invest up to 60,000 USD in a single event collaboration. Of this amount, 30,000 USD goes to Damon as appearance and filming fees, and another 30,000 USD is a charity budget fully covered by the businesses. He no longer needs to spend his own money to do good deeds. Second, Walmart reached out to Damon for a settlement to repair its reputation. It agreed to put Damon's own coffee brand on Walmart shelves, with Walmart taking zero commission. All profits from coffee sales will go entirely to Damon. The two sides are currently in negotiations. Finally, Damon's number of followers keeps growing. This incident has successfully made Damon more famous than he has ever been. This means there will be more and more work opportunities offered to him in the future, and his income has become extremely generous. He is no longer an ordinary internet celebrity who does good deeds, but an influential public figure. Will you still support Walmart? Do you know how much money Damon Darling made?
Well, that was my thing. I didn't know Damon Darling before, but I was wondering, why was he at Walmart in the first place? You talk about. Ooh, let me back it up, child. The orange man is on a mission to sabotage our education system. Facts. Ignorant people, he said he loved them dummies, don't he? He said he loves stupid people. Ignorant people are easy to control and manipulate. No other president has allowed this in our country. Right, because generally we're hoping to have the best so we can compete in other places, but the system is skewed. It ain't nothing like it used to be, not even the briars. It ain't even ice cream no more. You said you seen him. When did he get his money? Where did he get his money? I don't know. Like he's saying he was a comedian that was just out. I'm questioning the guy altogether. I mean, if he's doing good things, that's good. I was just concerned, or not concerned, but curious as why you got to do it at Walmart. Like if Walmart told you to beat it, like there's other stores. If the whole point is you like doing this great deed, then why Walmart? It's almost like a Walmart promotion. And now you partner up with Walmart. I don't know if that part of the story is true. I've heard other things. So now, where did you get a coffee brand? Like this guy did a great job of putting himself in a position, and I'm not necessarily mad at it, but all the Walmart promoting, this is y'all's conversation. He panders to, yeah, I did see, like, it was this, yeah, I did kind of see that. And clearly, because he over here waiting on them to come out of Walmart. You said you've been watching him. He really blown up. He's a huge celebrity now. Not for being a comedian. He's like popular for being down to the Walmart. And I've only seen him like over this weekend when he got banned. You said Damon Darling goes to Walmart and other stores that pays for. Yeah. Yeah, I just feel like there's plenty of other stores he could have been going to besides Walmart. I don't want to say it's self-serving, but he definitely benefit a lot from the situation. Well, now he over here at Myers.
I'm good. What's up with you?
I'm good.
I've been waiting to see you. I just asked my boss. I said, "Can I go say hi to him?"
He's smiling.
I need a picture. Where my phone at?
How you doing, Mimo? Good. I'm
We
good.
gotta send Caitlin
good.
this.
You're gonna send it to Caitlin. Oh,
Yes.
she's gonna be jealous. Well, I guess you know Caitlin's brother. He did your.
I do?
Yeah. Or something.
Oh, okay.
Work from your house.
Oh, okay. So he's telling everybody, huh? Goodness gracious. I got to move again. Can I give her some cash? Yeah. Can I give you cash? Can I give the whole staff cash? You guys? This little group, this cluster. Look, she's nodding yes. You're welcome.
You gotta get that man behind you though. He works really hard.
Oh, you work really hard, Jason?
Jason, you know who he is, Jason?
It's fine. Hey, I love meeting people that don't know who I am, Jay.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah. All right.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome. Do I get a hug?
Of course.
God bless you. Yes. Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you for working hard and not being outside being a criminal,
What?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Sorry, bud.
I'm so glad you're in Meyer.
Thank you.
You're
Here, I'll
welcome.
give him your phone. Yeah. Man, you're holding on tight, Mimo. I'm married.
Hey, I'm 70, so
That don't matter. You don't look it.
thank you.
Yeah, you look beautiful.
Thank you, honey.
You're so welcome. Do you need money too, Mimo? You need money?
I'll take some from my groceries.
There you
Thank
go.
honey.
You're
Oh my
welcome.
God, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah.
Oh, you say that no more. You got a
What? You got $1? You got $1 bill? A greenback, single bubby, George Washington, $1 bill. That's what got me here,
Oh,
Here, you get another. You get another.
Funny.
You get another 100.
Thank you.
All right. It's not about race. Here, just to prove it.
You're fine.
There you go.
I need a picture.
You need a picture too?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I just took my son.
Anyway, that's enough of that. So, I mean, I think it's cool that, he hands out money to people. If I run into his ass, I'm not going to turn down no $100 bill or whatever he happens to be handing out. Hey, Jaguar, welcome to the chat. You got a question to ask me afterwards? Okay. Shoot it over here. Um, he must be dating Sam Walden's granddaughter. I don't know. He said Meemaw. So, it leads me to believe that one side of his family may just be non-melanated because we don't really say Meemaw over here. Um, I'm not mad at it. You know what I'm saying? If you're gonna be out here being Mr. Good Deed, like I said, I would definitely not turn down $100 bill. I would be like, "Thank you for buying these groceries, sir. I don't need a picture with him, and he better not call me Mima." But yeah, now he's at Meyer. It's a good deed. I'm not gonna knock a good deed. I just like glad don't partner with Walmart. There's probably a lot of Benjamins behind whatever deal they got going on. Child. Robin Hood, keep doing your thing, Damon. What's next? Oh, hey guys. If you're a Marvel comic fan, this is the new Storm. So this young lady came off of Broadway. Um, I wasn't familiar with her before. Beautiful lady, but she's gonna be Storm in the next Marvel movie. Um, did Ryan Coogler suggest her? Hey girl. She's beautiful. So I'm looking forward to that. It's cool how these actors can go from like a small thing all the way to being a comic character. Storm is huge. That's a huge um character in the Marvel series. So this next one gonna be good. Hopefully, we seeing the casting. We'll be waiting on the movie. I'm still on my Marvel journey. And I'm way behind. Um, you said he's been going around buying school supplies for kids over the past few weeks. Good. Like I said, I'm not mad at the good deed. I just was really irritated by all the Walmart, why they banned him. It ain't gonna work in their, I mean, they won't be hurt by it, but it definitely worked in his favor. Him being banned from Walmart catapulted him into a whole nother sector. Isn't she pretty? Was it Storm the Black Panther? I don't know. Storm and the Black Panther were married. I did not know. Like I said, and it's funny because the comic book people get really pissed off when you're not accurate. So it seems as though Ryan Coogler might be moving in a place of accuracy, trying to make sure these characters are what the comics said they were. So yeah, shout out to her. I think she's a beautiful lady, so she's gonna make a beautiful Storm. Hopefully, the script, is also worthy. So it was a lot of fights going on this weekend. Did y'all get down to the ring and check out Ray J and your boy Orlando? They were boxing all over all over the internet. Where was it at, Zeus? I don't have Zeus. Lotus Egyptian Flower kept me very much informed on the fight activities between Ray J and Orlando Brown. You said hashtag not my Storm. Storm is dark skinned. She's heavily melanated. Black coffee, no cream or milk. This girl ain't brown enough. Black coffee, no cream. You want her to be like, what's her name? Lupita? Lupita's already in the series. I don't know. She not light bright. I think she's a beautiful Storm, but she's not Jaguar Storm. Jaguar, who would you have if it wasn't for her? Um, she's a version of the story where the Black Panther are together. Oh, you talking to T? So yeah, T. Storm was married to Black Panther. You said that fight looked like the Special Olympics. Well, let's get into it. I got a little clip. Shout out to Lotus Egyptian Flower. And I'm gonna share it with y'all. just like, they're making money doing this. These are 40-some-year-old men. This is concerning. Who's I bet they ain't helping the kids with the homework. They got nannies and things. Hopefully it's somebody other than these two. But here we go. This was the Ray J and Orlando Brown fight. Not Benny Hill. How long did this fight last? Why, Lord? Why? I'm speechless. Ray J won. I must say, I really was not sure who was going to win between these two clowns. Um, yeah, so that happened, y'all. Just in case you didn't know. 7 minutes for 3 rounds. 7 minutes and they sweating like that? You said Orlando's body was my face watching the fight. He's a MWT, a man with titties. Did you ever see that on Comic View? You said Danny Guerrero would be your first choice. Also, where do you want me to shoot the question? Shoot it in my DMs on Instagram. Danny Guerrero. Let's see what she look like. Danny Guerrera. Is she just gonna pop up? Oh, here she is. She already in Wakanda, though. You want her to be Storm? Let me see. I'll share it with y'all. I'm all over the place. We good on Ray J. Ray J run the fight. Congratulations, Ray J. Danny Guerrera. She already now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure she was already in the movie, ain't she? Yes. She was, yeah, she had a big role. She got a big role in Wakanda. We can't bring her back as a different character. I mean, I guess we could, but can we? Is that part of the story? I don't know. I feel like I like her character as what she was. Walking Dead. I did know she. I didn't watch The Walking Dead, but I did know that she was. Oh, you said you meant somebody that looked like her. I don't know. I like this new Storm. Like I said, the people that are into the comic, like for real, y'all don't want nothing tweaked, nothing. So for those of us that, kind of just came over here to watch it, through the cinema, we have less, our rules are a little less strict on the comic book characters. But yeah, so this is her. And we gonna see, child. I get irritated every time I see this lady with the sandwich. I'm like, what does that have to do with anything? So, other people were fighting like real boxers. Clarissa came over here. I'm gonna say this first. This was her way in. She already looked, that little bitty girl. She coming through. She coming through, y'all. I'm gonna say this while Clarissa come through. Body is tea. I ain't even gonna lie. Remember when Serena used to be fine like this? Now she over here like trying to be too skinty. You said she too old to be with the Black Panther. Well, she said she missed somebody that looks like that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Somebody that looks like that. It looks like, let's see. You said it looks like it was their first workout ever. Oh, you talking about Ray J and them? Oh, yeah, that was a hot mess. I'm glad 7 minutes is probably all they needed to spend on that. So yeah, I'm gonna say this: I don't care about Remy, and I don't care about Remy. Remy is married to Papoose. Papoose is married to Remy. They both out here in other relationships. They shouldn't have matrimony themselves to each other. They were together for many years and now they're out here being nasty. And I feel like this. If you were with somebody as long as Papoose and Remy were together, Remy, don't start talking about how his D is very average now, because you was jumping on the average D or somewhat so D or whatever you call it. It was your D for a very long time. Now, the streets is saying that he won't have for her money. And I don't know what her money looked like, but it seems to be that money is the issue. Everybody likes to say, not everybody, but some people like to say how he still wants Remy. He don't want either one of them, to be honest. I feel like not more than he wants their money. And that's his claim to fame. Clarissa, we could call her what we want to call her. I'm not gonna say nothing as it relates to relationships, because she is not the only one out here in these streets with an ain't shit nigga. You know how when we at church and they be like, take the hand of the person to your right. Everybody take the hand of the person to your right and see if their husband, boyfriend, significant other ain't shit. Somebody in the group go, what, girl? I'm sorry, girl. So she a grown woman. She making decisions to be with this man. I hope he don't get his hands on her money. It seems to be, girl, pay attention. That's what he wants to do. She wants to have his baby. So, girl, so you're having my baby. I do not care. But what I do know is she came over here to throw these hands. And she looked good doing it. You know what I'm saying? She looked good doing it. She looks strong. She looks stronger than this lady. This lady came over here, her Victoria's Secret's cheetah print, but it didn't do no good for her, because at the end of the day, she went down. She went down, 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 just like this. This is what happened. She got in the ring with Clarissa. I'm not gonna turn no music on. Yep, that was the first one. Boom. She's seeing stars. She's seeing stars. We're all up in the ring. This corner dancing corner, they bet they celebrating their money. They not celebrating, Clarissa necessarily, but they all bet on her. Yes, a lot of dollars going down. Woo! I wouldn't mind seeing that fight. I ain't gonna lie. Listen, over here on Coffee Talk, I'm gonna celebrate every time Clarissa win. I mean, I love to see her win. I want to keep seeing her win. And I'm not gonna be involved in whatever her and Papoose and Remy got going on. That ain't gonna make me feel no different about her. I feel like most boxers sound ignorant when they come over here talking, so that don't make me feel no type of way. Anyway, when she get in the ring, she throw them hands. You said I've learned a new move from Ray J. Ray J over there showing you moves, sticker moves. Was it that windmill? Oh, you said Clarissa. She has the boxing match coming up. This one was this weekend. She got another one coming up, because this one already happened. Um, Offset and Papoose are the ones in the same. Yeah, same. Out here sitting somewhere. Offset better take that money before he don't get nothing. Here she go. Ruby is corny, trying to take the spotlight away from Clarissa, coming out with a diss track the day of her fight. I don't care. I don't care. Because, I mean, I feel like all of them over there, all three of them are over there, all that back and forth and stuff. Clarissa, I would just not even, and this is in Clarissa's defense. I do want to say this. Every time she sit down in front of somebody, they asking her about Remy. They asking her about her man being married still. And, so she answers the question, and then here come Remy. Remy, it is what it is. Remy is, a rapper. However, is she on rotation besides TikTok? I don't know. I feel like if you really done, like, rap about something else. you know. The people like the mess. So if she hit a lick off of that, I guess, but I could care less because they all look foolish to me. And I feel the same way about Melanie and Martell and Coleslaw and any of you people that's coming over here with a husband, a wife, and a side chick and all of the bantering back and forth. Y'all sound a fool. And, what's her name? Lotto running down, bringing Clarissa in the ring. Her man got a wife too. So I guess, child. I don't care about these people and their tangled relationships. I'm not matrimony to anybody. So if I get a boyfriend, then, he won't have a wife. That's all I have to say. You said, I know Layla would never do a boxing event for Zeus. Hell no. The professionalism needs to improve. Well, Lotus, we in a different lane now these days. These is a different group of people. So their standards, they go to school with their bonnets on. They not like us. You said, that's my point. When was the last time Remy had an album? I don't know. I feel like, whatever fighting she got going on with Papoose needs to happen in the courtroom. But I also seen Remy down to the courthouse screaming at either the mother or the sister of the person that her son unalive. So, Remy is ignorant as hell too. Wasn't she in prison for, child? Layla is classy and has self-respect. Yeah. Whole different, and she's, it was a whole different era back then. We just literally watched Ray J and Orlando Brown. I don't know why that's even a thing. So at this point, anybody can get into a ring. Ever since they start doing those, what's his name? Paul Logan, or whatever his name is that fought Mike Tyson. Ever since they start doing that, now everybody just want to go see something. I would have watched this one though. One thing the girl know how to do is box, and she knows her shit. Like when you could tell when a person based on her analogy of boxing. I like to listen to her talk about boxing. She's not the brightest crayon in the box, but she does know her shit, and is very clear when she's talking about boxing. Y'all remember Hayden Panettiere? This girl has had such a troubled life, and unfortunately, she is no longer with us at 36 years old. This, was going across my timeline like late, like yesterday evening. So it must have happened later on, in or at least it was announced later on in the evening. But this is her. 3 months before her death, Hayden Panettiere says she was lured onto a yacht by a friend and put in a bed next to a famous older singer. So, the speculation is there's something suspect about why she may not be here with us. And why, I think there was a time we watched her on TV and things went really left, early on with her, and everybody was kind of like, what happened? She even had, at one point, had her kids taken away from her, but this is an interview before she passed away. It says, just 3 months before her death, Hayden Panettiere appeared on Jay Shetty's podcast and opened up about a disturbing experience from when she was younger. Panettiere said a trusted female friend lured her onto a yacht in the south of France and physically placed her in bed next to a shirtless, very famous British singer, songwriter who was in his 30s. We're going to have to do some numbers and see who that was. Paul McCartney was too damn old, so it ain't him. The interview is now resurfacing following a tragic news that Panettiere, known for her roles in Bring It On, Heroes, Nashville, and The Screamfields, has passed away at the age of 36. A cause of death has not yet been released. Let's see what she was saying.
And I waited for her to leave, and I mean that lion in me, that fire in me, that my hair stood on end, and I became ferocious. I was like, this is not happening. But I had nowhere to hide. And I bolted and I hid wherever I could think of to hide on a boat. On a boat. There was no jumping off and swimming away, and there was nobody who was going to, I realized that there was nobody who was going to be empathetic to my situation, that this was nothing new to them.
I mean, that sounds such a horrifying event to go through, and to be put in that position at 18 years old.
And disappointing when somebody lets you down like that. And I'd been let down so much before. This is something that happens all the time. And I waited for her to leave, and I mean that lion in me, that fire in me, that my hair stood on end, and I became ferocious. I was like, this is not happening. But I had nowhere to hide, and I bolted and I hid wherever I could think of to hide on a boat. On a boat. There was no jumping off and swimming away, and there was nobody who was going to, I realized that there was nobody who was going to be empathetic to my situation, that this was nothing new to them.
I mean, that sounds such a horrifying event to go through, and to be put in that position at 18 years old.
And disappointing when somebody lets you down like that. And I'd been let down so much before. This is something that happens all the time.
So, yeah, Hayden has died at 36, and we don't know why. So I guess we'll, have to wait and see what's, what the verdict is. Good morning, El Cid. El Cid is moving around. You're not at your black job, are you, El Cid? I know El Cid said she had an agenda. Anyway, that's sad to hear. Hollywood is a nasty place. People need to take a second thought about getting your kids involved in any of that foolishness, because or allowing somebody that's supposed to be a safe space. Like letting Tiffany Haddish babysit your kids only for her to take them over there and be, whatever was happening over there with Ari Spears. Anyway, here's another one, a story. This is a little lengthy, so I don't know if I'm going to show the whole thing, but this is the daughter of the black member of Color Me Bad. And, I'm looking at it like this young lady was with somebody she trusted, and this young lady, this was her mother and father. So, y'all remember.
One thing about my dad is he's a coward. There's absolutely no excuse for the things that he's done.
What did your father do for work?
He was in a R&B group called Color Me Bad. I Want to Sex You Up. Very prominent in R&B. He apparently met my mother when she was 13. They're 7 years apart. She had my sister, Destiny, when she was 19.
Tell me about your childhood. How would you describe it?
Chaotic. We grew up in a very religious household, getting beat with the Bible to the point where we would have bruises on our bodies from him turning the Bible into our chest. People would come over to the house, people from the church or people they would meet. We would do an exorcism on them and watch so many crazy things. When my sister got abused by her baby's father, my dad blamed her. It's her fault because she chooses bad men. She did this to herself, was his exact words. Didn't help her, didn't come to see her. She was pregnant. One thing about my dad is he's a coward. We had this stick called the Rod of Correction. It had Bible verses on it and our names on it. And anytime, we'd get in trouble, like we would get beat with the Rod of Correction because that was from the Bible.
So whose idea was that?
My father's. And when I tell you those beatings, like they loved those beatings. Like if you didn't cry and beg, they would just keep going until you did. And it was like a gleam in their eye. They loved the beatings. Sorry. There's just so much I'm trying to think. We had this stick. There was a program where the children of the youth group could write letters to inmates unsolicited. They're not reading the letters, they're just sending them to make these prisoners come to God, I guess. My sister wrote to one, she's 14. He got out and came to the church. My father befriended him, and not long after, he started raping my sister, got her name tatted across his chest. My dad knows about that. He'll deny it to this day, but he knew about that. And the videos, they were best buds. He always said Destiny was mature for her age. My father, Destiny's fast. She's a slut. Then he hosted a men's group at our house. Come to find out, all of these men he had to the house were pedophiles. They'd have Bible study and he would try to deliver them. They can't even be in the radius of children. Like they can't even be in proximity to children. And you have pedophiles in your home with your kids. There was a program where the children of the youth group could...
Tell me about your mom.
She was like his right-hand man. My mom's way of like playing with us. She would get on top of us and pin us to the ground and spit in our mouth and spit in our face. We couldn't move our face. Like she would pin us and then she would force us and she wouldn't get up. I don't understand that. My dad had other kids from different women, my brother and my other sister. They got custody. My mom definitely treated them subhuman. She would lock him in his room for days to the point where he would shit himself in the corner.
No food.
And then my sister Brianna, she would treat her like a slave. She made her run to school and then drove beside her, scream at her and yell at her the whole way to school. They took her everything, no door, mattress only, no sheets. They cut her hair. They gave her one outfit to wear, took her makeup, face wash, her hair products, took everything. And they would let us know, you can't talk about what's happening because my dad was the preacher.
Tell me about your mom.
She was like his right.
What age did the sexual stuff start for you?
So it was when I was 15, but when I would get molested on the bus, I was honestly as early as I can remember. I was in 3rd grade or 2nd grade. It happened throughout my period of time there. I told the bus driver and the bus driver told my parents, and that's when they didn't do anything about it. So it kept happening. And I just started being quiet about it and just let it happen.
This is with who?
All the kids on the bus, they would just force me in the corner and just touch me and kiss me. And, you know, I didn't understand it, but I knew it was wrong. So I told my parents about it and they didn't do anything about it. Understandably so. Now understanding my father's relationship with pedophiles, my father's relationship with my mother, you know, if it walks like a duck and talks like a duck.
What age did the sexual stuff? You mentioned that your mom used to have you strip naked and...
Yes. When I was 6, Brian is one of the Color Me Bad members. He was staying with us for a short period of time. Brian never did anything. He was just there, but for some reason, they had me go into his room naked. And they had me strip and walk into his room and just were laughing like it was funny.
It's almost like your parents were offering you up to him.
Yeah.
At 6 years old.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess.
Your parents never got caught with any pedophile charges or anything like that?
No, they're so good at making people believe that they are God's like chosen people. It was so suffocating because we all were so angry.
You mentioned that
they pray for me to get in such a bad car accident that they prayed for me to become paralyzed. They've prayed for me to become so dismembered and so disfigured in my face so that God could humble me. They still do, probably. They think that I'm in rebellion of God when I cut them off. And of course, it's rebellion of my father, but they assume that's God. I did get in an accident. Nothing happened. I'm very protected, and I'm not afraid of my father. I could have died. I was on a major highway in Dallas, and I slid off the highway. The only thing that stopped my car from flipping was a sewer drain. My parents sat there and told me that God's trying to get my attention and then that I deserved it. They literally said I deserved it. My car was fucked. Come to find out, they had been telling people that I got in this car accident and making this GoFundMe for attention and for pity. And they stand by that. They pray, and all we ever have done is love our parents. We thought the world was against us, because that's what they would tell us. We worshiped our father. We'd watch videos and videos and videos of him and the band. We idolized him. My dad operated on fear to keep us silent because his name, who he is, his appearance, everything is optics. I want absolutely nothing to do with my parents. I just want the world to know who he is. The shame that we have carried are not ours to hold. It's his. It's theirs. By me coming here today, I want to free my sisters and my brother from their control. And I want them to understand that what we had to go through is not okay. And we don't have to keep hurting anymore. And we don't have to keep a secret anymore. We don't have to hold it any longer. One thing my dad would always say is, the truth will always come to the light. Well, today's that day. And all we...
Well, that's horrible. Let me take a beat. We watch a lot of these dating shows, and these women, the goal in life is to find a husband if you're a woman, supposedly. um I hope this young woman gets the help that she needs, because a lot of times, growing up in that type of situation, as bad as it is, you find yourself dealing with the same type of person as a partner. So God bless her. Her parents are pedophiles. Yep. Um, you said there needs to be an investigation. The kids are probably grown now. I don't know if they're underage. I would say though that if their kids are grown, other children are at risk. Investigate that church. I feel like that's where a lot of it happens. That's where a lot of it happens, where you have these closed communities that are so righteous, but the kids are you know that I just saw a story, and maybe I'll pick it up tomorrow. Sometimes, like I said, but in Texas, over 100 people were arrested and had all these kids held captive. It's crazy. It's crazy what's going on out in this world. She's so strong to tell her story. She is, and expose him. And another thing, we have such a fascination with celebrity. If this isn't a reason for us to like not be so quick to, I don't want to say idolize, but for lack of a better word, celebrity, entertainers. One story after another. I just saw, we just talked about Hayden. So, and this happens all the time when, when I'm here, then the information comes out. But the update is a dispatch audio suggests Hayden Panettiere may have suffered an overdose. I don't believe that either, but, I figured that will be, they're gonna put it on her. You know what I'm saying? She gonna be miraculously, blamed for her own death. I do feel that. But yeah, we know who he is, man. To have your mother and father, it's one thing to go to leave the home and have somebody that that's outside of your home doing these types of things. But when it's your mother and your father, and they're inviting people in, having children for what is the emotional detachment that these people have for their own children? Because that's not even normal in nature. Mess with a mama bear and see what happens. But yeah, God bless this young lady for telling her story. Hopefully, it's the beginning of her healing. And because based on what she's saying, she got a long road ahead of her in terms of trying to get better. Beautiful lady. So speaking of these folks, we gonna get ready to wrap it up. But there's a couple things I wanted to share. With all of these young men um, being found, young, not even just young men, young people being found unalive with a rope around their neck, hanging over a tree branch. This happened. So this guy. So TikTok, this guy is a truck driver, and I guess he's at a truck stop, but this is what happened to him while he was at his truck stop.
To my young brothers that drive trucks, I'm a truck driver. I'm a young black man that drives trucks. Look at this shit. These motherfuckers, while I was getting out the shower, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. The dude in the window said, "Hey, come here. Come on the other side of my truck." and lift up some shit to unlock something on his truck. I think he said something about the bathroom. He said his brother locked him in the bathroom. Like, bitch, why the fuck you can't ask your brother? Nah, bitch, I'm not slow. These motherfuckers thought I was gonna be stupid enough to go around what he wanted me to do. You see the other side of that truck and that trailer where nobody can see your motherfucking ass. They wanted me to go on that side. And I'm pretty sure they was gonna goddamn snatch me up, probably using a firearm or whatever. Put me in the back of that motherfucking RV right there and go off some motherfucking way and hang me. Brother, stay safe and be smart, bro. Not to motherfucking day. And tell me why when I walked off and I didn't do it. See, look at him. As soon as I walked off, he talking about he was locked in the RV. As soon as I walked off, bro, these motherfuckers came outside. He was never locked in. Them like some good old white boys and me, bro. Look at them. Now they finna go. Look, some good old white boys, big as hell, thought they was finna snatch me, put me in an RV, and do God knows what to me, bro. Not some motherfucking day, bro.
That's freaking scary. That is freaking scary. And it probably happens just like that. You know what I'm saying? Because, obviously, I think it's in your nature and most people's nature to be helpful. But be careful out there. That's all I can say, because his story could have definitely ended very differently based on, what's going on out here in this crazy world that we're living in. Um, Let me see what y'all are saying. You said they said she was with an AB Yusuf ex right before her death. You talking about Hayden? Um, Maybe, the story gonna unfold. Now they're saying that it could possibly be, an overdose. So we will see. You said you hope she sought. Somebody else brought this up too, to go to Africa. You said, I hope she sought intensive mental health care for her trauma. I'm concerned about her recovery because of how she's described her experience with a smile on her face. And I believe it was Quad from Married to Medicine in the comments that pointed that out. Let me go back over here. Yeah, it's Quad. It says, please don't take her smile lightly. It's her trauma response to trying to fight through telling the story. The way she's smiling just lets you know how much pain she still feels to this day. She can't sit still, rubbing her hands together, noticeably shaking her head no as she speaks. And that's one hell of a defense mechanism to hide PTSD that's obviously written all over her. She has still very much still traumatized, just like the child. I'm so sorry for her siblings. Yeah, so it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking, and thankfully, at least she's getting an opportunity, or has taken. I don't even want to say opportunity. Taking her trauma head on and going ahead and telling her story. I'll put it like that. Dangerous. They were going to they was going to do something to him, and them was some big jokers. Those were some big dudes. Coming out from the side of that truck. Don't let people casually lure you anywhere. The tattoos are a sign of trauma. Yeah, her tattoos are very telling, aren't they? High vibe. That's a story to tell too. I bet you she got a story to tell for those tattoos. Here's another situation. Keep your kids in the backyard if you ain't gonna be out there with them, because this happened.
Who is that? Sorry. A white man backing up in my yard with kids playing around and you talking about sorry. Get your ass from around here. He got the wrong address. That's how kids get kidnapped.
Shout out to that mama for paying attention. This is how kids come up missing. The way my goddamn anger works, the way my pistol, you hear me? The way this weapon let off, he would have made it at that driveway. Because it sounded like he said get in. And side note, mama fine. I don't know if y'all saw that mother. Rewind that. Mama look good. Mama look good. And she watching these kids. That's why, man, I got to have a backyard. Y'all take y'all ass to the backyard. Y'all play in the backyard. Because when I was coming up, bro, we could be all out in the neighborhood and nothing would happen. You can't even be in your own goddamn driveway no more. You can't even be in your own damn driveway no more. And the audacity. Study. You get out the car talking to the kids. You ain't got the car trying to go knock on the door or nothing. You backed your bitch ass up. I said it. Tinted out and all that. And I'm glad that they were recording. Hope they reported it to the police and got that tag number. Y'all gotta watch y'all kids. Watch these babies now. And we gotta teach our children when you stuff like this happen, you run them in the house. Somebody outside. Teach these children run in the house. Somebody's outside the driveway.
He's not wrong about that. I see this comment. This is why men are important. Is that why? Because it's seemingly a man that's over here doing the dirt. So I don't know if that applies, sir. She shouldn't. You said she shouldn't be shouted out. She wasn't outside with them. It was the Ring camera. I feel like, with everything that's going on, the kids need to be in the backyard, like he said. And even still, like, all eyes on, we did in the neighborhood. We used to be able to walk around the corner and do all the things. But also back then, growing up in Flint, everybody's parents worked for GM. So you knew somebody, few somebodies on every street you was going down. So, eyes weren't just like strangers. You knew, I don't know anybody in this neighborhood really, but up there, like back when we were growing up, my grandmother was on one block, my aunt was on one block, and every block in between has somebody that, our parents knew each other. So we could go outside and play because, the community had eyes on us. It's not like that anymore. You said she shouldn't be shouted out. She was not watching them kids. Thankfully, like he said, the ring cramp, and he even got crass. Like, the mama fine. Stay on task, sir. Yeah. Thank God she does have that Ring camera, but just when you feel safe, you have to be there. Sitting on the porch. Like, the kids cannot be left alone, because that was bold as hell. And he did. He got out of that car and he was talking to them children. He didn't say, "Is your mom home?" You know what I'm saying? None of that. He talked about get in. That's what I thought I heard too, sir. So I'm going to end with this. I hope y'all enjoy the rest of y'all's Monday. I feel like this was like some good information, good conversation. I enjoyed, hanging out with y'all this morning. Let's remember, don't be the only. Don't be the only. Don't let your kids play in the front yard. Keep your eyes on your kids, and don't be like letting anybody lure you to anywhere. Keep your eyes on the swivel. Keep your head on the swivel. Y'all have a good day. And I'll catch you on Wednesday. No, tomorrow. I'll be here tomorrow for Reality Recap. Tomorrow at 8, we're going to talk about these housewives and these housewives. All right, y'all. Enjoy the rest of your day.
South Carolina, we got the chicken seasoned up, we got it floured up, we got the boys in the background, they ready to eat. Hey, now listen, we ain't gonna over talk it. 1, 2, 3, baptized chicken. Yes, that I'm gonna hold on down. Wait for the hit that game. Right there. Ooh, my ass. He better come home. I know that. You better come home. Fuck around being the chicken grease. We need to make sure he good. Put an air tag on him or something. He better come back home. Ain't no black forget one. Look at that rat that went